by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KDET AM Austin, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, an iHeart radio station and your home for the Horns.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland,
Bastrop, and Silsbee, Texas,
or wherever you may be listening. This is a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Super Bowl 59 week is here. Texas men get a great win. Rodney Terry talks with us in review at 7:34. The Texas women handle their business in Aggieland. Texas baseball had a great alumni weekend. And, of course, we've got the world's strongest take. I'm your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And if you want to be a part of the show, but Khalil is behind the boards, of course. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas followed by your message to 81530. Also, if you want to voice your opinion, all you got to do is leave us a message by using the talkback feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. That way, we can hit you up and let you know what's going on, because we're going to give you a chance to win some tickets. Well, let's get right into the conversation. There was a huge NBA trade this past weekend. On Saturday, the Clippers and the Utah Jazz make a trade. No, I'm just messing with y'all. They did make a trade. They did make a trade, and it had to do with Mo Bamba, and it had to do with P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker and Mo Bamba were traded from the Clippers to the Utah Jazz. So, yeah, that did happen, Mark.
Okay.
That did happen.
It was big. It was Texas.
It was a big old trade right there. But no. Let's just get right into it. Everybody's losing their mind because of the trade between, and it happened in the dark. Luka Doncic traded to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis. Man, oh man, people have lost their mind. And now let's talk about it, because I feel that this was a great trade.
I do too.
For both teams that are involved. And let me tell you why I feel.
Tell us why.
That this was a great trade for both teams involved.
Tell us why you're mad, son.
Because they each got what they wanted.
Yeah.
And the fact there was no one to leak it. That was the beautiful part about it. Nobody knew that this was happening. There wasn't no stories. There wasn't no opportunity for someone to foil it. Jimmy Butler. Wasn't everybody talking about being bad teammates? They knew what they had. They knew the situation. And how do you pull off the great caper? By never talking about it. Lil Wayne had the best line in one of his raps.
What is that?
Real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Like lasagna?
You didn't know there was a G in lasagna when they said it to you? Now you are looking at one of the best trades in sports. Mark, what say you?
I would say that this is the third largest caper to ever happen to Los Angeles Lakers sports. Shaquille O'Neal coming in, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or he was Kareem.
Yeah, Lou Alcindor, known as Kareem.
And now Luka Doncic coming in. I don't think that I don't think LeBron was a shock coming to the Lakers. But when Shaq came, it was a shock. When Kareem came, it was a shock. I think Luka is right there at third. It's shocking to me. Jacob called me, and I didn't believe him.
There's a lot of that conversation going on.
Real.
Yeah.
I said, why would they trade Anthony Davis? He's having the best year he ever had. He's not injured. He's killing the game. I just talked about him last week.
Yep.
And boom, there you go. I think that, this is the best thing for Luka because of the company that he's in. Being around LeBron James and his work ethic is going to be very beneficial to him. I think he'll be a better player with LeBron because they are very similar-minded players. They both can do the same thing. You look at the statistics, LeBron James and Luka's, their stats are almost identical, except for Luka scores at a greater clip than LeBron right now. And a lot of that is because LeBron is older. Now LeBron can lay back in the weeds when Luka's on the floor. They don't have to be on the floor at the same time. It's better that they are on the floor at the same time.
Well, they're the starting lineup together, so they're going to be on the floor together. But here's the thing that drives me nuts. What people fail to realize about Luka, and I've said this for a while now, Luka is somebody that is talented, but how much does he work? If Luka would have been on a team with Kobe Bryant, Luka would have been in the best shape of his life.
He would have.
Because Kobe would have fought him.
Be there with LeBron.
Yes.
It's the same.
And Michael would have fought him.
Yeah.
And what people get your fandom out of the way, because we've all gone there. Right. Everybody, Luka's the greatest thing. Those people work with Luka Doncic every single day. And for them to pull off something like this, that they said they weren't going to give him that max because Luka's dedication to conditioning has never been there. They said defense wins championships. What did you say about Anthony Davis? He's playing the best basketball.
Best he's ever played.
Blocking shots, getting boards, doing everything he can. Not only can he play defense, I said this when the trade happened. This reminds me of when they went and got Tyson Chandler. Tyson Chandler blocks, plays defense, works hard. Only difference is Tyson Chandler wasn't going to give you 30.
No.
Anthony Davis going to give you 30.
But the biggest part, Hardge, about Anthony Davis going to Dallas is he's playing the 4 now.
Right.
He's not playing center.
Right.
So it frees him up to score more.
But he can still come back and play defense for you. Luka Doncic was a sieve. He'll score 35, but he'll give up 37. He's not going to play defense. Luka,
he made it to the finals last year.
Yeah. He did.
So
lost.
He lost. But
lost.
Hardge, he's not going to give up 37.
He gives up. He's one of the worst efficient defense.
If he scores 36, he's going to give up 35 most of the time because they won most of the time. Now, when it got down to the short hairs being pulled, he had a problem. He couldn't reach it.
Right. And so in certain situations, you got to understand this is when Luka Doncic had a bad situation, and now this is why I believe he got traded.
I know that there's a temptation to focus on the Lakers here because they potentially just acquired the next great Laker, and it's an amazing story when you look at the history of their franchise. But the story of the moment and what my phone is filling up with is the reaction to the Dallas Mavericks making this move. I had an all-star, current NBA all-star text me and say, do you know how much the Mavericks must hate Luka? I mean, this is what they're talking about in the league. I've had, veteran coaches text me and say they can't believe they saw this. They just have never seen anything like this. And Luka is 25 years old, okay? He is under contract for several more years, and this summer he is already eligible for a Supermax. I find it completely unbelievable that he would not sign that contract. This was not done because the Mavericks didn't think Luka wanted to be there. Even if he didn't sign that contract, you would have a whole year to figure it out. This was done because the Mavericks didn't think that going forward with Luka was best for their franchise. Think about that statement. A 25-year-old who's been first-team All-NBA the last 5 years and carried them to the finals a few months ago. And they said, we want out of the Luka Doncic business, and we want out of it now. They didn't put him on auction, Kevin. They didn't say, we're going to trade Luka Doncic, bring us your offers. They targeted one team, and they made the offer and deal in stealth mode. This is just shocking. And I will say this. We all know what Luka's, pockmarks are. We all know what his deficiencies are. We all have seen his greatness. But nobody in the world has more information on Luka Doncic than the Mavericks. And the Mavericks just pulled the ripcord. It's a stunning situation.
Boom. Here's the other part of it. He's no longer eligible to sign a designated veteran Supermax extension that would have gave him 5 years, $345 million. He's now eyeing a 4-year extension around $229, and that's from Spot Track breaking it down.
When we come back, I got something else for you.
Yep.
But it's shocking.
Okay. I'm with it. We're just getting started. And as you know, the story of the day is the NBA trade deadline. We'll talk about that. Rodney Terry will be joining us at 7:34. It's a Monday, folks. Let's pop it off right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
It's the Craig Way Show.
If Jerry Jones does care as much about his fans as he says, try to make some moves that might at least appeal to them a little more than a lot of the moves you made. In other words, like a real personnel person, real general manager. Make Will McClay the real general manager.
Voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
We have a disabled vehicle blocking the right shoulder on Mopac northbound at Palmer Lane. We also have an 8-minute delay out there, 620 northbound from BK Parkway down to 2222, and a 13-minute delay, 35 southbound from Westinghouse down to Cesar Chavez. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Electrical problems are a warning. Flickering lights, warm switches, bulbs burning out too soon, all need attention. I trust Abacus licensed electricians. Their years of experience make an electrical problem no problem. No wonder they say Abacus. You can count on us.
Licensing details on abacusplumbing.net. If you're in the market for a wood fence for your home or business, Viking Fence is the right choice for you. Viking Fence has been in business for over 50 years and takes pride in being the most reliable fence company in Central Texas. Viking Fence does gorgeous work, from simple privacy fences to custom projects. Their quality is unmatched. Viking is the only fence company with their own facility where they custom cut red cedar, the most durable and attractive of fence materials, and offer 3 grades of fence pickets, one for every budget. Compare their lumber against the big box stores. And there is no comparison on quality and price. So whether Viking installs your fence or you're doing it yourself, Viking Fence will ensure your satisfaction. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 for a free estimate or visit their wood fence galleries at vikingfence.com. When you think fence, think Viking.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Call 844-844-iHeart to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
And Doug. Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Get ready for Super Bowl 59 with iHeart, the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network.
This is Cam Jordan from the NFL Podcast Network show, Off the Edge with Cam Jordan.
Join Cam and other podcasts like NFL Daily, NFL Players, Second Acts, and more.
We'll all be recording live from New Orleans this week. Make sure to open the iHeart app and search NFL to hear all the action and the biggest guests.
Getting you ready for the Super Bowl with the NFL Podcast Network. Just open the free iHeart app and search NFL to start listening now.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Get over to our Twitter page, X page, and cast your vote. We decided, who do you feel won the trade? Was it the Mavs? Was it the Lakers? Or was it both of them? Because both things can be good. And I think it's beneficial for both teams. Yeah. So we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, we're going to continue the conversations even more so. But we're also going to talk about the Spurs and what their trade was. But you had something you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, J.J. Redick, the coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, talked about it before he took the job, that he wanted to create a system with a three-head monster. And when his idea of a three-head monster was not having Anthony Davis in the post and LeBron and having another player offshoot, his system is a perimeter-oriented system. And it's about having three shooters on the perimeter. This has been in the works, guys. Like, that's why I was able to be kept quiet, because J.J. Redick has been able to do that and keep this, under wraps. He's been looking for this the whole time.
Yep.
And now having LeBron James at small forward, having Austin Reeves at 1 or 2, and have Luka at 1 or 2, that gives you a three-head monster on the perimeter. All three of those guys could 3 and D. All three of them could shoot threes at above 40%. It's going to be hard to stop the Lakers from scoring now.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, too.
And another Longhorn playing on the team.
Well, here's another thing that I think a lot of people aren't looking at when you look at what happened for Dallas. Kyrie goes back to the 1.
Yep.
AD goes to the 4, as you talked about.
Yep.
You still got them dogs like PJ Washington that's going to go out there and ball out.
at that can play power forward and center.
You got your other guy in the middle.
Gafford is a great center.
Likely is going to be back. But here's the thing. The pick and roll action, the pick and pop. This is something that Kyrie is masterful at. And now he has a guy that he can get the ball to that can score buckets. I think this is great for Dallas. People are like, they got an F. I'm like, what are you smoking?
Nuts?
Yes.
The pick and pop is with Kyrie. That's not the pick and pop. That's the pick and penetrate, the pick and roll.
And kick.
The pick and pop is going to be with Klay Thompson. Did y'all forget that Klay Thompson's on that team?
I think they do. They're caught up in the mindset of what Luka Doncic was. He's going to LA so he could take over for LeBron. AD was not going to be able to take over for LeBron. This is a great move for both teams.
AD could not play the elbow and the baseline playing center. He had to play the dunk position, and he had to play just rove around the paint.
Yep.
Now he wants to be where he wants to be on the wing. Yep. He's really a giant wing. That's what he is.
And he can play it, and he can also play defense. And again, there's more stories that we eventually will have brought out about Luka Doncic. If you remember, he gets his teams to the finals. He's in the hallway having beer and drinking. We heard about him one time when he was in San Francisco. They called him out drinking at lunch before he was getting ready to go play a game. There's some
all of that is over with.
There's some I think it's going to be worse in LA. I think it's going to be worse.
LeBron is not going to allow that, man. I'm telling you, the Lakers organization, they're like, look, man, the stigma of
I hope it motivates the crap out of him.
transgressions.
I hope it motivates everything out of Luka. I hope he comes in the best shape of his life.
Yeah.
I hope he spends $1 million on his body like LeBron, and everybody say, look who won, look who won.
No smoking at halftime.
You know it's gonna be hard for him. He gonna have to go to
You
a
can't
detox
smoke indoors
center.
in LA.
They find a way. You couldn't smoke in the dugout in baseball, and they were doing it too. So they find ways to get things done. But it'll be interesting. But the Spurs get their guy. We've talked about it. We said it was going to happen. He said he wanted to go there, and I think that this is a great, great move for the San Antonio Spurs. They come through with the big trade, and now you get De'Aaron Fox out of all of this. You got you talked about getting rid of certain guys. Zach Collins is now going to the Bulls, and the only way they can make this work, we had to get 3 teams involved. You had to get 3 teams involved. The Spurs, the Kings, and the Bulls. Now, Zach Collins is somebody, he just didn't fit in San Antonio.
No.
He tried everything he could. He just wasn't a fit. Now he goes to Chicago with Trey Jones. He was somebody that you were talking about, well, he's expendable because they got enough guards. Well, they expended him. And now the Kings get Zach LaVine and City Cisco, a 2025 first-round pick from Charlotte, a 2027 first-round pick from San Antonio, 2031 first-round pick from Minnesota, 2025 second-round pick from Chicago, 2028 second-round pick from Denver, and another 2028 second-round pick. The Spurs get De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Thoughts?
I'm not thinking about Jordan McLaughlin.
I know.
Just to put that up there. But I'm just saying, now you have a guy that can score at will. Wemby is going to be able to play on the perimeter more. I know that sounds odd to have a 7'5" guy playing on the perimeter, but anybody that's watched basketball this year, you know how valuable Wemby is on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And he creates offense in the lane by the fact that he's on the perimeter, and the guys that are playing him can't hang with him. Right. And now you have, De'Aaron Fox who can get to the basket, and Chris Paul is going to, to be able to give the ball to somebody going downhill like De'Aaron Fox that can score with Wemby standing on the perimeter.
Yep.
It's going to be very hard to stop the Spurs from scoring now. They needed another guy that could give them. look at what the Spurs have right now. They're not losing anything. Trey Jones was not a starter.
Right. He was another guy that had been there for a while, been a part of their system and understand. I mean, he's a good point guard, but you're right. They make the big move.
Add 23 points, 25 points to
yeah.
what the Spurs have been doing now. That's what you can do.
I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of the move. I'm a big fan of De'Aaron Fox. I'm glad he's in San Antonio because now we can actually watch him. Because when he was in Sacramento, the games was so late, you're not paying attention to what's going on with the Kings. And the Kings fired Mike Brown this year.
Yeah.
And now they're getting rid of their franchise player, De'Aaron Fox. He wanted to go, so they made it work for him. The NBA trade deadline is February the 6th.
If you were Sabonis, what would you be saying right now?
What are we doing? Where am I going? Where can somebody trade me?
Can y'all trade me too? Because this is bad. But you know what? They brought in a scorer from Chicago.
Zach LaVine.
Now Zach LaVine and what's
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan.
Well, DeMar DeRozan is asking for a trade now. You know, so I mean, maybe they don't like each other. Maybe they can't play on the same team. So here's something that I don't think everybody thought about either. And I think I remember Khalil talking about it early last year. Luka Doncic controls the basketball. And this is going to be the interesting point of it. There was a game last year where Luka touched the basketball 84 times. 84 times. That's not going to play well with LeBron.
They didn't have LeBron on that team. That's Luka knows. Come on, man. These are basketball savants. I don't know if you watched it, but I used to watch the JJ Redick LeBron James podcast.
I watched it a couple times.
And they had Luka on there. And they were talking.
It's amazing Luka. How that works, huh?
Right. Yeah. All of this stuff is starting to come full circle.
Yeah.
Lucas was talking about how he would love to play with LeBron at that time because he would not have to always handle the ball.
Interesting.
Bro, we are starting to dig into this.
Yep.
And it looks like a conspiracy theory to me, but it's not.
Yep.
They've been planning this hard.
Oh, they definitely have
been planning this.
Coming up next, we've been planning this too. Rodney Terry of the Texas men's basketball team will be joining us next to talk about their great week of hoops and what's next this week, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Well, good morning. We still have that vehicle blocking the right shoulder on the Mopac northbound at Palmer Lane. Also, we have a 22-minute delay if you find yourself on 35 southbound from Westinghouse down to Cesar Chavez, and a 6-minute delay on 290 eastbound from I-35 down to Mater Middle School. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Get great savings on family favorites throughout the store at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get 2 free gallons of Lucerne milk when you buy 2 packs of family-size Oreos, including the new Post Malone Taste Twist Oreos. Available for a limited time at Randall's.
Hey, it's Sandy for Apple Leasing, where I've leased cars for over 20 years, and I highly recommend you do too. If you like to be in a brand new under warranty car that you don't have to worry about repair bills because of the warranty, then leasing is for you. Do you like to pay less monthly than if you were to finance that exact same car? Leasing is definitely for you. And the great thing about Apple Leasing is they'll get you any make or any model that you want, really with just one phone call. The number's 346-9977. Again, that's 346-9977. You can trade in the car you're driving right now and be into something brand new by the end of the week. It's so simple. Call them today at 346-9977. Maybe the car you're driving right now is too small. You need something a little bit bigger. If you're in a lease, Apple Leasing specializes in getting you out of that lease and into something new. So call today, 346-9977.
The cleats have hit the field. Kickoff is here. Game day's arrived and Specs brings the cheers. Ice cold beers, team lifting spirits, cocktails in a can. Score 'em all and hear your fellow football fans chant, "You the man." And with Specs' largest selection and lowest prices, you can make every game day feel just as nice. Before the players start running their routes and schemes, run a route to Specs for your game day needs. Specs, cheers to savings.
Hi, I'm Yvonne Nava with KView. Want to stay updated on the local stories that matter to you? Download KView Plus and get breaking news, weather updates, and newscasts on demand. Free on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Start streaming today.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh. The second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Want to win 2,000 times your money simply by watching football? With Better Picks, every play will have you on the edge of your seat, as game day just got 2,000 times more exciting. That's right. Better Picks has the highest multipliers in all of daily fantasy, letting you turn $1 into $2,000, $10 into $20,000, all the way up to $100,000 payouts. That's higher than all those other Pick'em fantasy apps.
And it's super simple to use. Just pick a few players, choose more or less on their stats, and follow along live.
Why would you use any other daily fantasy app when you can win 2,000? Thousand times your cash. Plus, new users get up to a $200 match on their first deposit. It's simply better with Better Picks.
Must be 21 or older and in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play? Call the NCPG at 1-800-522-4700.
The Spurs landed a huge co-star for Victor Wembanyama as they acquired Kings guard De'Aaron Fox in a 3-team trade that sends 2 Spurs, including Trey Jones, to the Bulls, who traded guard Zach LaVine to Sacramento. Spurs take on the Grizzlies tonight in Memphis. Grizzlies beat the Bucks last night. Women's hoops, Madison Booker, 17 points, 13 boards. Longhorns crushed Texas A&M. I'm Ronta Moss.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix.
A new road, a new rodeo. NASCAR stars face a new action-packed course in a high-octane showdown. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix returns to Circuit of the Americas February 28th to March 2nd. Tickets at NASCARCODA.com. That's NASCARCODA.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. It is Monday, so that can only mean one thing. The head coach of the Texas Longhorns men's basketball team, Rodney Terry, joins us. They had a great week of hoops and a huge, huge win this past weekend as they defeated LSU. They got a big week coming up. But, Coach, before we get into your week, what'd you think of the trade?
You know what? Good morning to you guys. First off, man, thanks for having me and everything, man. I really appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Take the time to have me on your show every Monday and everything. But you know, we had a really good trip. I mean, we made a tough trip down to Ole Miss. I thought our guys played really well in that game. I think the thing that we're getting done right now is I think we're playing more consistent basketball at a high level where we're sharing the basketball and guys are playing for one another at a high level.
Yeah, and you guys have, you started the season off in the SEC 1-4. In the last 4 games, you're 3-1. Your points per game is going up. Your defense is getting even better. And that's something that you talked about this team with all the transfers and getting to know each other. Now you guys are starting to gel a little bit and playing some really good basketball.
Well, the thing about it is, it takes a little time for that process. And in this league, every night you have to be able to defend at a very high level. You have to be able to rebound at a very high level. And I think our guys are working really hard at doing that night in and night out. We've gotten better over the course of conference play. With it being a physical league, I think anytime Caden Cedric is being as active as he was the other day, it takes our team to another level. I mean, Trey Johnson gets a lot of, accolades about his scoring, but he had 5 assists the other night in the ball game and trusted his teammates sharing the basketball. That ball was moving. We had 20 assists and 6 turnovers the other day. 7th turnover was the one I took late in the game for our team. But when we're sharing the basketball and we're defending at a high level, I think we're as good as anybody in the league.
Coach, there's been a lot of criticism from the fan base as well as people like me and Hardge, the talking heads, even though we're on your team, Coach. A lot of people are criticizing the aggressiveness in the post, but nobody's complaining right now. What do you owe this? It's just like a resurgence of energy from your big guys diving on the floor. They're doing all those little things. What do you owe that to?
Well, I think they've done it all year long. I think Caden Cedric's played a great role for us all year long. I mean, year prior he was coming back with shoulder surgeries, and this year I think he played tough all year long. I think Derek has gotten better as the season's gone along. Arthur Kaluma's been very, very consistent with what he's done all season long. I think our big guys, I think they've held their own. I mean, I think, the times that we would have loved to have had more points in the paint in terms of trying to score the basketball down there and stuff. But, I mean, we had 40 points in the paint the other night as well. And, it's a physical league. I mean, there's not a lot of back-to-the-basket guys in this league that can score at the basket back to the basket. You give or take Broom at Auburn probably is the best low-post scorer, maybe Payne over at A&M, but there's not a lot of great low post scorers. Guys have to go and get second chance opportunities off the glass. But I think our big guys are doing a pretty good job of holding their own and playing with the physical mindset.
Coach, you had Pryor was able to come in and give you some really good minutes. Does this mean that he's going to get more reps with you?
Oh yeah, no, he's been a big part of what we've been able to do here over the last 4 or 5 ball games in conference play. And I think as he's gotten healthier over the season, his play has continued to get better in practice and in games. But there was a while. It took him a while to get back from some pretty lower leg injuries that really held him down a little bit. And he's the kind of guy that needs his wheels, and he didn't have his wheels for a good minute there and stuff. But he's one of those guys that brings a lot of energy and activity, and when he enters the game, he's becoming a factor in games.
Coach, we're talking to the head coach of the Texas men's basketball team, Coach Rodney Terry, coming off of a 31-point win this past weekend against LSU. But you got a big week coming up, Coach. You got Arkansas coming in on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. tip-off at the Mood. You can watch the game on ESPN2, but, of course, if you're not at the Mood, you can hear it right here on AM 1300 The Zone. And then you head to Vanderbilt to take on a hot Vanderbilt basketball team.
Every week is a big week in the SEC, but we try to deal with the one right in front of us. We have a major challenge with the Hall of Fame coach coming in. A lot of respect for Coach Cal in his program at Arkansas. Huge rival for us. It's great to have Arkansas, Texas playing again. We talk about A&M, we talk about Oklahoma, but this Arkansas rivalry is just as big, I think. You go back to the old Southwest Conference days and the rivals that we had there, in basketball with Nolan Richardson and Tom Pender's teams. Boy, I tell you, it was some really good games. We're going to need an incredible environment come Wednesday night against a team that's playing really well, coming off a big win at Kentucky. So, good athletic, fast-paced playing Arkansas team. We need a great crowd in the Moody.
So I wanted to ask you this. I want to piggyback on what Mark was saying about Pryor. He was a guy that when last year I kept thinking, I was like, oh man, look how this dude's vertical. He looks explosive. Now he's getting that opportunity. He's feeling better. He's getting after it. What do you attest that to? I know he's putting in the work, but is he one of those guys that you had expected to be able to deliver the way that he has?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, DP had a great summer, had a really, really good early fall. DP was going to be in the rotation to start the season.
Gotcha.
He went down and was out 3 weeks, and really had a tough time getting, a couple of injuries back on track. I mean, it just took him a while, and it really slowed his process. I mean, he had gotten off to an incredible start and was going to be a guy that we, expected to get some things done early in the season for us, but it really, really slowed him. But I like the way he's coming, and, he stayed positive. He's always had a great attitude, great approach every day. And, he's one of those young guys that has an extremely high ceiling and, just really love what he's doing right now and the contribution he's making to our team.
Coach, what's the latest on Caden Shedrick? I mean, not Caden Shedrick, excuse me, Kendall Weaver.
It's been a slow process. That the injury that he sustained was not an easy one to come back from, and the last thing that we want to do is to prolong it and make it be a longer situation than it needs to be. So, we've got a great training staff. Warren works with them every day, and we're just being very cautious with C-Dub, and when he's ready to go, we'll bring him back, but it's going to take a little bit still in terms of his return for us.
Gotcha. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today. Another great week, another big week. As you said, it's a big week in the SEC every week, and you get it started this Wednesday against Arkansas, 8:00 tip at the Moot.
Appreciate you guys, man. You guys keep up the great work, and Longhorn Nation, come out. We need you. A huge rival game. Arkansas, good Arkansas team coming to town. Hall of Fame coach. Should be an exciting game. We're excited about the challenge.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too, and I know you're going to handle your business. There he is, the head coach of the Texas men's basketball team, Rodney Terry, coming off of a huge win against LSU. That's a big dub for them, and they continue to push it, and they playing hard. They're getting after it. It's been an important part of the success. When we come back, we'll close out hour number 1 and continue the conversation. Texas women's basketball get a big win as well right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
It's the Craig Way Show.
If Jerry Jones does care as much about his fans as he says, try to make some moves that might at least appeal to them a little more than a lot of the moves you made. In other words, like a real personnel person, real general manager. Make Will McClay the real general manager.
Voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Well, good morning. We still have that vehicle blocking the right shoulder on the Mopac northbound at Palmer Lane. Also, we have a 22-minute delay if you find yourself on 35 southbound from Westinghouse down to Cesar Chavez, and a 6-minute delay on 290 eastbound from I-35 down to Mater Middle School. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Get great savings on family favorites throughout the store at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get 2 free gallons of Lucerne milk when you buy 2 packs of family-size Oreos, including the new Post Malone Taste Twist Oreos. Available for a limited time at Randall's.
Have you played Pick Six from DraftKings? What are you waiting for? And you better do it now because it's Super Bowl 59 and it'll be the last time the NFL Pick Six season will be played. As an official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. It's super easy to get started. All you got to do is select 2 or more players, find out if they'll have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns or yards. And DraftKings is making it really sweet for first-timers. DraftKings Pick Six customers play $5 and get $59 in Pick Six credits. Win more cash on Pick Six. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app. Use the promo code SPOTLIGHT. That's code SPOTLIGHT for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick Six credits. Only at DraftKings Pick Six. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where TurboTax Expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Favorite station, preset. Favorite artist, preset. Favorite podcast, preset.
We know you're loving the new preset feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. See it now, along with even more great features. It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand.
iHeartRadio.
Tossing and turning? Waking up feeling restless? It's time to revolutionize your sleep, and nobody can sell for less than Factory Mattress. Save up to $500 on select adjustable Tempur-Pedic sets and get a $300 free gift. Or get an additional 20% off our factory direct prices on name brands like Sealy, Serta, and more. Start sleeping happier during the President's Day sale at Factory Mattress.
My Factory Mattress.
Monster BTK, the latest installment of the critically acclaimed Monster franchise, exposes the chilling story of one of America's most infamous cases that shook Wichita, Kansas to its core.
When people said BTK, you think of a wild-eyed Manson-like character. What we didn't understand is he was the guy next door.
Listen to Monster BTK on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Monster BTK to start listening.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KVET AM Austin, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, an iHeart radio station and your home for the Horns.
I'm Julian Edelman. That's Rob Gronkowski. And guess what, folks? We're teammates again. And we're going to welcome you guys all to Dudes on Dudes.
Dudes on Dudes.
That sounds a little weird, but that's what this is going to be. Roberto, what's Dudes on Dudes?
Well, I'm a dude. You're a dude, and Dudes on Dudes is our brand new show, and we're going to see who the ultimate dude really is.
The premise of this show is going to be, we're going to highlight players, peers, guys that we played against, legends from the past, and we'll get into the types of dudes. What kind of types of dudes are there, Gronk?
A lot of different types of dudes. We got studs, wizards. We got freaks.
Or dudes, dude.
We got dogs.
We'll break down their games. We'll share some insider stories and determine what kind of dude each of these dudes are. Is Randy Moss a stud or a freak? Is Tom Brady a dog or a dude's dude?
We're gonna find out, Jules. New episodes drop every Thursday during the NFL season.
Subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and X. Go to Apple Podcasts and write a review about dudes that you want us to do.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em, Horns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Great conversation with RT as he breaks down his Texas men's basketball team. They got a big week coming up against Arkansas. Arkansas played a great game against Kentucky, and as he said, Hall of Fame coach John Calipari will be in the house. DJ Wagner, tough guard for Arkansas, will be here on Wednesday. But right now, I want to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Ghost on August the 14th at the Moody Center. Get over to the iHeartRadio app. I'm sure you're listening to it right now. Tap the red microphone and leave a message with the keyword hammer. Hammer is the keyword. So make sure you leave that for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Ghost August the 14th at the Moody Center. Hammer is your keyword. Make sure you listen this afternoon to the Craig Way Show. I think Craig and Cam will finally be in the house to give you a chance to win some tickets. I'm sure they're going to give you their travel experiences. I know Cam did that the other day. He posted on his social media all of the travels that they've had during this time. Shout out to Andrew Zimmel for holding it down as well. But I want to get into the Texas women's basketball team as they had a huge win, a 20-point victory over Texas A&M. Coach Vic Schaefer and his crew went to College Station, handled their business, won their 7th straight road game of the season, and continued to look tough along the way. Finally got a great game. I mean, when I say finally, don't take it the wrong way. Rory Harmon was feeling good about her shot. That is what I meant. Her shot looked good. She looked aggressive. She was 7 of 9 from the field. She had 5 assists and 1 turnover, tied her season low for turnovers. Texas tied their season low with 7 turnovers. They played well. Obviously, Madison Booker continues to be Madison Booker, 17 points, a career high, 13 rebounds. But the story was this: Texas A&M made it a point to try to take Taylor Jones out of the ball game. They were double teaming her. They were very physical. Again, I guess it's just the way the SEC is going to play. I'm getting used to it now. They let you just beat the hell out of each other every single time down the court. That's what it looked like. That's what they were trying to do to Taylor Jones down low. Jordan Lee coming off the bench. She gave them some quality minutes. I love what I saw from Brianna Preston. Her and Rory Harmon on the court at the same time together is very impressive because both of them can get up and down the floor, and they're not afraid to move the ball. Shea Holly did her thing. Winter Matanda, I think is how you say her last name. Been very impressed with the way that she has played as well. She was 5 of 11. She is long and lanky, and she can go out there and make plays. I think this team defensively, Coach Vic, when he first took the job, we interviewed him here on this station, and Coach Vic said, we will guard from the airport to the end line. He said that they will pick you up the entire court, and that is a thing that is the most frustrating part of it for a basketball team. If you are uncomfortable from the very beginning and you have the ability to guard all 94 feet, it makes it difficult for teams to get in their rhythm. It makes it difficult for them to get into their offense, and they turn the basketball over. Yesterday, Texas had forced 11 turnovers to Texas A&M. They were important for them. They had 16 points off of the turnovers. The way that they were able to go out there and play was very, very impressive. As I said, Madison Booker continues to do great things. She played almost the entire game. That's back-to-back games where she's played at least 39 minutes. Her conditioning is in great shape, and she's an important part. Shea Holly and Rory Harmon doing what they were able to do. An impressive group continues to play at an elite level. They are 22-2 on the year, 8-1 in conference play. They have a huge week as well. This week, they will take on Vanderbilt on Thursday, and then Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, huge basketball game between South Carolina and your Texas Longhorns. It'll be on ESPN. Thursday's basketball game will be on the SEC Network. They play at 8 o'clock. Big-time matchup for both of these teams as South Carolina is coming in, number 1 team in the land. Texas, we'll find out where they'll be. Right now, they're sitting at number 5. I think they'll probably move up to number 4, if not stay at number 5. So it's a big week of basketball around here for the Texas Longhorns team. In the next hour, we'll continue conversations. We're finally going to talk some football as football season continues to roll on. NFL, a lot of conversations. We got the NFL, the Super Bowl happening. You'll have the world's strongest take, and then we'll finish out the show with the Texas baseball alumni breakdown. But Texas men's and women's basketball had successful weekends, big wins, 31-point win for Rodney Terry and his group. And then you had a big victory, a 20-point victory against Texas A&M. And it's kind of funny, too, because I've been talking a lot about Rory Harmon because, number one, she's one of my favorite players on this team. I love the way she guards and she leads this team. And she struggled. She struggled a lot from in the field, but it's not from her putting in the work. We saw her workouts every single day of what she does. She has 2 shoot-arounds for herself on game days. She continues to work, and she was aggressive enough yesterday that she finally felt comfortable and her rhythm looked good. As I've said, with her leading the way with 5 assists, Madison Booker had 5 or 6 assists, and so did Shea Holly. This is a basketball team that is made for the long haul. And if they can get everybody and getting that bench figured out, Aaliyah Moore still is out. She's like Kendall Weaver for the men's basketball team. Both are integral parts of this basketball team, but both of them are dealing with injuries. Hers was an illness, so hopefully she will be ready to go by the South Carolina game. But this is an impressive group by Vic Schaefer and this Texas women's basketball team. Hour number 2 is just around the corner. And yes, we will talk NFL football, finally. But the trade is the biggest story. Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Who won? Get over to AM 1300 and cast your vote on social media. Hour number 2 is just around the corner, right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
These times of massive inflation have people just like you strapped.
As far as my debt, I was drowning in debt. My balances were never going down. I was making payments every month. It was just draining every resource I had.
The Debt Management Group can help. In the first free call, they will explain all the relief programs you may qualify for to get you out of debt fast.
They saved me thousands of dollars, especially in interest. I would have never paid off this debt without their help.
I felt like it was a burden lifted off my shoulders. It felt amazing, and I felt like I could actually see a future for me and my kids.
The sooner you call, the faster you can get the relief you deserve. It's free information on all the debt relief programs you qualify for, plus guaranteed confidentiality. Call 800-933-3470. That's 800-933-3470. Call now to find out about the best debt forgiveness, consolidation, modification, and settlement programs available. 800-933-3470. That's 800-933-3470.
Is it time for a new car? You don't know where to start. Hey, it's Sandy, and I'm going to tell you about the people I've been doing business with for over 20 years. That is Apple Leasing. They've been doing business in Austin for over 30 years, and I highly recommend you give them a call if you're looking to get a new car. They'll get you anything you want, any make, any model, with one phone call, 346-9977. Again, that's 346-9977. You may be sitting there going, oh gosh, I'm in a lease right now. The good news is Apple Leasing specializes in getting you out of that lease and into something new. Your monthly payments will be lower than if you finance that exact same car, and it's under warranty. Trade in the car that you're driving right now. Maybe you need something bigger. Maybe you need something smaller. You're going to get a great deal at Apple Leasing. Call them today, 346-9977. Again, that is 346-9977, or go to their website at appleleasing.com.
Cars today are built to last, but how they look is up to you, and that's where Mako comes in. They specialize in cosmetic repairs. Let's say it's affordable paint jobs to fixing those annoying dents and dings. Maybe your car's paint is faded, or you've been meaning to fix that scrape from the grocery store parking lot. Whatever it is, Mako has you covered. Now, here's the best part. Stop by your local Mako, free estimate, and you're going to find out how easy it is to refresh your ride. With more Americans keeping their cars longer, now's the time to protect your investment and keep it looking sharp for years. And you can do so with the great folks at Mako. At Mako, they are proud to be a trusted partner for drivers across the country. Whether it's a fresh coat of paint for your car or fixing up everyday dents and dings, Mako is here to keep your car looking its best. Get started. Visit your local Mako today. Get the free estimate and see how easy it is to bring new life to your ride. Better get Mako.
Hey, friends. I'm Jessica Capshaw.
And this is Camilla Luddington.
And we have a new podcast. Call it what it is. You may know us from Graceland Memorial, but did you know that we are actually besties in real life?
When one of us sends out the distress signal, the other one always answers the call. Big or small, we're there.
And what does that look like? 1,000 pep talks, 1,000,000 I've got yous, some very urgent I'm coming overs. Because I don't know, let's face it, life can get even crazier than a season finale of Grey's Anatomy.
And now here we are, opening up the friendship circle.
Someone's cheating?
We've got you on that.
In-laws are in-lying?
Let's get into it.
Toxic friendship?
Air it out.
We're on your side to help you with your concerns. Talk about ours. And every once in a while, bring on an awesome guest to get their take on the things that you bring us. Listen to Call It What It Is on the iHeartRadio app.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KBET AM Austin, AM 1300 The Zone. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. It is a Longhorns Monday edition, but man, oh man, all we can continue to talk about is the Luka and AD trade, the Spurs getting Fox, and of course, Rodney Terry joined us in hour number 1 to talk about that Texas basketball team. But let's get right into it. It is Super Bowl week, so we have to go back to the NFL. We'll continue those conversations about the Super Bowl in segment 2, but right now, Pittsburgh is trying to decide between Russ and Justin Fields and who is going to be the starting quarterback moving forward. And also, the Raiders are making moves in the NFL. They went out and got Pete Carroll. Now, it is time to bring in an offensive coordinator, and they decide to go to Ohio State and get one Chip Kelly. Now, Mark, you and I were talking about it. It's a different time in college athletics. It's a different time in the NFL. Coaches moving and shaking. I mean, the world of sports is upside down, and now the national championship of Ohio State has now made some changes.
They made changes, and they, I think, made them at the wrong time. We always talk about Coach Stark's staff, them having a level of continuity every year because he's not dismantling his staff. Ohio State is going to play Texas in the first game of the year next season. It'll be here. This summer will be over before you know it, Hardge. And now you got a team that's going to be learning a new system. And you're going to play Texas the first game out the gate? Not smart.
Well, the one thing that I will revert back to is Ryan Day is an offensive-minded head coach. He's a play caller. He's a guy that understands what each player is able to do.
He didn't win a national championship without Chip Kelly.
And he didn't win a national championship without Will Howard. So he's going to have a new quarterback too. So the system is going to be what it is. It's not only him that he lost Jim Knowles. He lost the defensive coordinator. He also just lost another guy that's coming to the University of Texas, an outside linebackers coach. I mean, they're going to rebuild, and Ohio State is one of those universities that you continue to look at and you say, okay, it is Ohio State. People are going to want to go there. People are going to want to be a part of that.
Right.
It's a beautiful school to most.
Coach Day is going to have to earn his money, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you get paid the big bucks.
That's why you get the big bucks.
You got to make sure that all that happens. But you look at that team and you're like, okay, they got some talent. They're going to always have talent. They still have the top wide receiver in the country in Smith. They're going to have offensive linemen and defensive linemen. That's that type of the country. They're not going to be a pushover.
No, not by any
like
means.
Michigan. You know, Michigan came back and they ended up playing better after all the changes that they had, all the people that went into the NFL.
True.
And this is a guy that's part of the organization. He's part of the university. He's been there. He is an offensive play caller. I think it's going to be, yes, no doubt about it, it's going to be a struggle for them for sure. But they do got some of the best players in the country. And once you get in there and you get to work, their quarterback is supposed to be even better than Will Howard was. You know, he's a young guy, but he's supposed to be a stud, and everybody's looking forward to him just like they were looking forward to Arch. You know, there's things that are going to happen throughout these times, but I want to go to Pittsburgh right now, and we've had those conversations multiple times about what we've seen from the Pittsburgh Steelers, the thought process, 2 quarterbacks, 1 quarterback, how they're going to do this. They both were there on cheap deals. Neither one of them were getting paid a ton of money. Well, now it's time to decide which direction do you want to go? What is the best feeling for the Pittsburgh Steelers? We saw what Russ could do. Is he met his ceiling? Is he at that point of where, okay, thank you, Russ, you got us here.
Yeah.
Now it's time to move on? Or do you say, hey, I really like what Russ did. Maybe it's time for Justin Fields to move on.
I think it's time for Russ to hit the bricks, and it's time for Hurts to get his shot. He started Fields. Jalen's.
Yeah.
Jalen Fields is
Justin.
Justin Fields.
Yeah, I know it's Super Bowl week. You talk about Jalen Hurts. It's Super Bowl week.
It's Super Bowl
I
week.
got you.
But I want to see him start and build the offense around him because they need an identity. We talked about this last year.
Mm-hmm.
What is the identity going to be? He needs an identity, and you draft the quarterback too. They failed in drafting a quarterback the year before, so now it's time to get one that's more. Hey, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers. There's going to be people in the second round that they can go after. They have needs. They need offensive linemen. They need to get a quarterback. They need another running back because I think they're going to lose Najee Harris. So, there's a lot that Pittsburgh has to do, and it's not just at the quarterback position, Hardge.
Well, but the quarterback position is what makes everything go. So you look at what some people are saying, that you re-sign Justin Fields and you draft a mid-round quarterback.
Yeah.
Some say you should keep Russell Wilson and you still draft a mid-round quarterback. Some are saying draft the first-round pick with the quarterback position and then try to fill in on the back end.
In the first round, who?
Somebody that you feel like you can build it with, like we've talked about before and we've seen it numerous times. It only takes one quarterback. You mentioned Jackson Dart just a little while ago. What if Jackson Dart falls to them in the first round? Do you take that opportunity to draft a quarterback like that and try to build him up? The last one that they drafted before was Kenny Pickett, and that didn't work out for them. So you start looking at how this is going to play out. Where is the move that needs to happen? And the Steelers are, they draft well, they do well, but are they going to be able to get the right people into that system that they want to run to make plays later?
I think Coach Tomlin should really run a system like they do in San Francisco or Detroit, where they got a lot of motion and you got a quarterback that puts people behind a step.
Yep.
And that's the only right thing to do. But you need offensive linemen to run a stretch system like that and zone read system, and I don't think Pittsburgh has it.
Well, that Broderick Jones guy, he's been struggling on the offensive line. They had Troy Fatua, that was on the offensive line, and you're still trying to build within that offensive line. Now, do you go out and get guys in free agency on the offensive line? Do you build within the organization by drafting those guys? But you got to bring guys in that are ready to play and ready to be effective. So you might have to do some things across the NFL where you start to get some of those free agents. But I also look at it like this. There's going to be some wide receivers that are out there as well. T. Higgins, somebody that we were talking about before, that is looking to get a big contract. Do they go out and get another playmaker? I think they need one. I think they need multiple playmakers because that plays a part into your quarterback position as well. You have to go get guys that can catch the ball and extend the field.
And that was a big problem for them. That was a big problem for them. So I think T. Higgins would be somebody awesome to spend your money on.
Yeah,
I almost would say, you know what? I would go so far as to get give T. Higgins the money and just go ahead and do offensive line in the draft and not even think about quarterback in the draft. I think that you go offensive line again.
Well, you're still going to be set behind that. You're going to need to get a quarterback. And like I said, it may be later. It may be a
you might have
mid-round
to
guy.
think who in the third round.
Yeah, you may have to get somebody a little bit later, but you definitely have to get a quarterback for your future because neither one of those two, Fields or Russell Wilson, Wilson especially, because he's older.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to have to go get somebody if they decide to keep Fields.
And it's not like they
Wilson.
struggled at quarterback with Fields. Fields did a really good job the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yep.
So, 4 weeks.
Yeah, it did what? He got 4-2 as a starter for them, in the first 6 games. But then they went and got who they needed to get, and that was Russell Wilson, and he made them run and get to where they should have got a little bit deeper into the playoffs, but that is going to be something that is going to continue to be played out throughout these days. I look at it and I say, if I were the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would stay with Russ. I would stay with Russ for one more year, and then I would draft and develop a guy because Russ will be able to teach and give people more chance and more thoughts about everything that's going on. So we'll see what ends up happening. We still got some time on that. But coming up next, we're going to get into New Orleans. No, not the Saints, not the Saints. We're going to talk Super Bowl. That's right, folks. It's Super Bowl week, and we're going to talk quarterbacks right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Texas basketball plays here.
Julian Larry out to Johnson. Long contested three. It hits bottom.
1300 The Zone.
Out front, Kent. A high arcing three is good for Jason Kent.
If you bleed burnt orange, you need the best coverage of Longhorn basketball.
Kaluma, a rebound, turnaround slam.
Exclusive interviews, coaches show, and every game day and every day. Keep that burnt orange blood pumping with 1300 The Zone and your Longhorns. AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
We have a wreck in Round Rock, 130 toll southbound at US 79, causing a 32-minute delay. We also have a 3-minute delay accident blocking the right lane, 35 southbound at Airport Boulevard, and then finally 290 westbound at Lexington Street, an accident reported. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
With your busy schedule, there's no way you have time for all those complicated fantasy lineups. But there is time to win up to 2,000 times your money on Better Picks. With Better Picks, you can jump in fast and pick more or less on your favorite player's stats for a chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. All in the time it takes to listen to this commercial.
Pick, tap, and win. That's it. Others might stop at 100 times payouts, but with Better Picks, your winnings can soar up to 2,000 times payouts. Turn that $10 bill in your glove box into $20,000 right now. That's real excitement.
So don't forget, if it's game day, it's a Better Picks day. Crank up the excitement with Better Picks and play for huge cash payouts. Go to betterpicks.com, BETRpicks.com, or download Better on the app or Play Store and use promo code RADIO to play for up to 2,000 times your cash. Plus, new users get up to a $200 match on their first deposit. It's simply better with Better Picks.
Must be 21 or older and in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned with your play? Call the NCPG at 1-800-522-4700.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where TurboTax Expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
That time of the year, football really starts to heat up. Stay connected during the big games this season with family and friends with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. Push of a button, you connect with your friends, kids, neighbors, even an aging parent. One-touch communication. The big game coming up, you can communicate with everybody. You can talk trash to everybody if you want to. They are the official walkie-talkies of the Dan Patrick Show, not your average walkie-talkies. Rapid Radios, they work on a nationwide LTE network. You never have to have a subscription. The walkie-talkies, the ease of today's technology, they sound great. Great communication device for everybody, 100% private, ready to go out of the box. They will hold a charge up to 5 days. Just visit rapidradios.com. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com, get up to 60% off, free UPS shipping, and a free protection bag. Also, if you add the code radio, an extra 5% off. Take advantage of this. Rapidradios.com.
It's the perfect time to transform your home or business with fresh new color. The team at CertaPro Painters of Greater Austin handles every detail worry-free from start to finish. CertaPro Painters is the painting service you can rely on here in Austin, whether painting inside or out. John Bennell and his team are ready to protect and beautify your space with a fresh coat of paint. Go with the pros at CertaPro Painters of Austin. Get your painting project started today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio. Call 844-844-iHeart to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
The Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. It is a Longhorns Monday, but yeah, we can talk some Super Bowl too. And the reason why, we've got some Longhorns playing in the Super Bowl, Xavier Worthy, and of course, Charles Omenihu. Charles Omenihu, this is a beautiful come from behind victory for him, right? Because last year at this time, he had tore his ACL. He was out. There was no chance in him playing in the game. His team goes on to win the Super Bowl, but he didn't get a chance to participate. Now he's here. He's getting an opportunity, and I know he's excited about it. He's talked about it. Xavier Worthy, think about his career at the very beginning of it, your first year in the league, and you're going to a Super Bowl, and you are there because a team decided to trade their pick to the team.
Did you see his cousin said, they're going to regret making that trade.
Right.
Like right before they called his name.
Right. I mean, that makes no sense. But anyway, good for him. Exciting time for him.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl will kick off at 5:30 on Sunday on Fox. You get to hear Kevin Burkhardt. And you start to look at both of these teams and where they were and how they got here. But you look no further than the quarterback position. Patrick Mahomes looking to make history, but with a three-peat in the Super Bowl. This will be the first team and only team to ever have a three-peat in football. And then you look across and you look at Jalen Hurts and you look at his story and who he is and, the criticisms that he's gone through in his career, but yet he's leading his team to the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years.
Yeah, and Hardge, I have a lot of respect for him as a man. First off, because he does a lot of charity work. He's very mature for his age.
Very mature.
He lives a kind of a mature type of life. He's not a partier. He's a man in the spirit, and you can tell that he had good leadership in his life. His dad should feel really proud because he's a leader of men. I see him having some success. Hardge, I just don't see it this year. Everybody is saying that, this is the revenge tour. They're healthy. The defense is better. They added Saquon Barkley. Everything that you can say. But Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid is still Andy Reid. And that defense is better at Kansas City as well. They've added every injured piece that they didn't start the season with and that they lost over the totality of the season. You look at their offense. Chiefs has two really good running backs, Khalil. Two really good running backs. They have 3 wide receivers now. And I wouldn't say that Worthy is a rookie anymore.
No, once you get to
he played
this
a
level,
whole
yeah.
season.
Yeah.
And plus, and Travis Kelce, he steps up in the big games. And this may be Travis Kelce's last game. There's a couple of hints that he may retire if they win the Super Bowl. Man, it's a lot hanging in the balance.
Man, if he shuts it down,
I would think it would be horrible. But bro, he wants to be a dad, and he's done all of this. The stuff with Taylor Swift is out there now. She's been wearing gloves for the last 2 months, which means that he's proposed. She don't want to show the ring. It's so much going on. The Super Bowl through Kansas City and through the Eagles, I think this is going to be one of the epic Super Bowls that we got to watch. It won't be a blowout.
Well, this is one of those games, too, that you look at Patrick Mahomes and you look at his season and what he was able to do. This wasn't his best season. He wasn't even up for MVP. He wasn't up for any awards. I don't even think he was named to the Pro Bowl. But yet all he does is go out there and he wins and he finds a way to get it done, whether it's through the running game, him being able to scramble, to extend plays. He changed the way he approached the entire game last time when they played Buffalo. He ran the ball more than he had ever run it the entire season because he did what he needed to do to get the win.
Yeah.
And that is the type of thing that I look at when I look at Patrick Mahomes. I do the same thing with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts talked about this last week, talked about the simple fact that everybody wants to judge quarterbacks by stats. But I thought the stat that everybody truly cared about was wins.
Right.
And if you're leading your teams to victory, no matter if you throw for 100 yards or you throw for 300 yards, you can go and look at anybody's stats. Joe Burrow put up unbelievable stats.
Yeah.
His team didn't even make the playoffs.
Hardge, I judge my quarterbacks on whether or not they turn the ball over, whether they fumble it, whether they throw an interception. You know, you can go back to quarterbacks like Neil O'Donnell. Didn't turn the ball over.
Yep.
That's why they won.
Until the Super Bowl.
Until the Super Bowl.
dog.
So Seattle.
Yeah.
What was the quarterback coaching here in Texas now? He was a game.
Joe Kitna. I mean, Kitna. John Kitna.
I think the Kitna didn't win the Super Bowl.
No.
It was
no.
Gosh, I can't think of the guy's name now. I'm old. I got hit in the head a lot.
Yeah.
But there have been quarterbacks that manage games.
Right.
They don't throw interceptions. They don't turn it over, and they get the ball to the guy that needs to get the ball when the guy needs it.
Yeah.
And where he needs it. And that's all you got to do. That's all Jalen Hurts has to do is manage this game and don't turn the ball over. And Patrick Mahomes is gonna have to pull one of those magical rabbits out of his hat to win a game.
You know, the thing that I love about this game is that it's indoors. It is a track meet for those that can run like that. And Xavier Worthy is one of those guys.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy has had success in the dome.
Didn't think about it.
Yeah,
Good
and
point.
the speed of the game is something that everybody's going to adjust to. Weather's not going to be an issue, and if it was, it will still be beautiful because we're dealing with great weather.
But for
here.
argument's sake, on the other side, they have a track guy too.
Absolutely.
So Smith is like, he can get up and down the field, man.
Yeah, and so can AJ Brown. All these dudes. That's why I look at this game, and the over-under is set at 48.5. Everybody's thinking.
What do you think about that?
I think it's over. I think it's going to be the over because both of these teams can score. Now, the other part of it is Kansas City has only scored 30 points or more twice this season. Twice. And one of them was just last week to win the game, or 2 weeks ago to win the game at Buffalo, against Buffalo, 32-29. So you continue to look at both of these teams and you dive into the numbers and the quarterback position. Again, this was one of the years that people were trying to figure out. You and I talked about this earlier in the year too. It's like these guys have not scored 30 points and they have a 15-1, 15-2 record where all those other teams were like 2-11, 4-9. Just they were terrible by not scoring points, but yet their defense got better.
Yeah,
their defense got better, and you know there were times where if a play needed to be made, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce came back out of shape.
Yeah,
he came back out of shape.
He was 290.
And now he's in a position to win. He's in a position to be back into the Super Bowl. You talked about him possibly retiring. I mean, this is a heavyweight match, regardless of how you want to look at it. 15-2, 14-3, two teams that have found new niches for themselves and how they began to construct this situation.
I think one of the reasons why Kansas City doesn't score a lot is they don't have to score a lot. They want to win the game. They play to win the game.
Yeah.
To quote the great Herman Edwards, they play to win the game. If they need to grind it out and not let you have the ball, that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
They can play every facet of the strategy game. And you got that on your side, like you don't have to score a lot. You just have to score more than another person.
Well, I think, you know, when it all comes down to it, I believe that whoever has the ball last is going to have the best opportunity to win the game. True. And I think that they're going to be put in a position, whoever has it last, to win the game. And my money, from what I've seen, has always been don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's still early in the week. We'll continue these conversations. But as I sit here today, I'm looking at the numbers. Kansas City is a 1.5-point favorite. It's a neutral site. They're most experienced. They're going for a 3-peat. Seems like all the pressure is on Kansas City, but you can't look past Philadelphia either. Jalen Hurts and his legs, if he can be healthy, it is going to be something to pay attention to. So we'll continue these conversations all week. But coming up next, you know what time it is. WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man brings you his world's strongest take right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeart Radio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
In Round Rock, we still have that accident, 130 toll southbound at 79, causing a 17-minute delay. Stop and go back to Limmer Loop. Also an accident blocking the right lane, 35 southbound Airport Boulevard. That's about a 3-minute delay. 290 westbound at Lexington Street, another accident reported there. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations. We've been providing custom electronic systems for Central Texas for more than 36 years. And
Old man, I think they all know who you are and what your company does. This is Camilla McKay. The old man believes in big fun and big ideas. He can make dreams come true, so why not dream big? I've been up in Boston, but I know the old man and all his friends and fellow radio heads have been spreading the holiday spirit here in Texas. Why should we stop there? Keep spreading the good feelings all over. Audiovisual Consultations carries all major brands of televisions and stereo equipment at prices you can't find in stores. And you don't have to leave your house. Just like Santa, they deliver the gifts to you.
yeah, I like that, kid. Throw a party, hang out with your friends, catch a concert.
That's all fun and good, but can we get back to the business? You can give us a call at 512-255-8678 or visit our website at avconsultations.com for some cool electronics.
Oh, now you're forgetting something.
And as always, hug your kids. We only pretend to be annoyed. Watch some games with your friends and make love to whoever the hell you want.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
And Doug. Quickly move. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
How did you sleep last night? If you find yourself restless, you know where to turn. Factory Mattress. During the Factory Mattress President's Day sale, get a queen mattress set with an adjustable power base for only $589. Or turn 2 bedrooms into sleep sanctuaries for the price of one with buy one, get one free deluxe mattresses. Enhance your sleep and save more because nobody can sell for less than Factory Mattress.
My Factory Mattress.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin area weather, areas of patchy fog for your Monday morning, partly cloudy, a high near 80, partly cloudy tonight, a low of 65. Tuesday morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, a high in the upper 70s.
This report is sponsored by the Austin RV Expo.
Embrace the RV lifestyle. It's the Austin RV Expo, February 13th through 16th. All your favorite local dealers under one roof with the biggest selection of the year. The Austin RV Expo. Get your tickets at austinrvexpo.com.
I'm Arturo Castro, and I've been lucky enough to do stuff like Broad City, Narcos, Roadhouse, but now I'm coming out with my own podcast. Get ready for Greatest Escapes, a new comedy podcast about the wildest true escape stories in history. Each week, I'll be sitting down with some of the most hilarious actors and writers and comedians, people like Ed Helms, Diane Guerrero, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I love storytelling, and I love you.
Listen to Greatest Escapes on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Greatest Escapes to start listening.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns live here.
You heard that beat drop? That can only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, gives you the world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella.
Hardge.
What's up, man?
You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the world's strongest take. Khalil, back then they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. What is it? They all on me. Now, I'm just tired of being right. I told y'all that the Spurs needed a scorer. They went out and they got one. De'Aaron Fox is a top 8 scorer in the NBA. The guy is a facilitator as well. He's averaging 6 assists a game. And you add that to the fact that he can play 1 or 2, even though he's vertically challenged. He's not a 6'4", 6'6" guard. He's a 6'1" guard that can get to the basket. And we always talk about that. Being able to get to the basket and drawing fouls and putting the other team at a deficit. He's one of those. He has another element to his game. And it's even better in the fact that Wemby is an unbelievable threat on the perimeter. Unbelievable threat. They don't need him to pick and roll him. He can get downhill. Wemby's on the wing. But the biggest part of it all is they didn't lose anything. I was wrong in the sense that I said, well, if they bring in Fox, that they would have to lose Vassell or they would have to lose Kellen Johnson. I threw Trey Jones in a trade. Like I did all of this stuff. The Spurs didn't lose nothing. And if they want to make another move with Vassell, Trey Jones, or Keldon Johnson, they can to improve that team. So the Spurs right now are sitting pretty. I think that in the post, they're doing great. They got a veteran leader at small forward, Harrison Barnes. I even said, you know what? I'm not a big fan of Jeremy Sohan because he's not Boris Diaw. I know the San Antonio Spurs world loves Boris Diaw, and they love the fact that he was a big guard that was like a point guard, and he helped lead Tim Duncan and David Robinson to championships. Sohan is not him. He's not him. You can laugh. I'm saying he's not him. Okay, my take. My take is Khalil and I, at the beginning of the season, said that the Spurs were a 500 team. Hardge, I would go so far as say the Spurs are going to make the playoffs. These next 35 games are going to be incredible for the Spurs. You're not going to be able to stop them from scoring, and they will be above 500. What say you?
Interesting, because they are 21-25 right now, 16 and a half games back of the Western Conference leaders, Oklahoma City Thunder, 38-9. I love the move for the Spurs. I love me some De'Aaron Fox. I've always been a big fan of his, the way that he can control it. But just like the other trades that were happening, these are building for the future. The only one that is like a win now situation is the Luka and AD trade. And we talked about that already.
Right.
But you look at this trade and what the San Antonio Spurs are looking at. They're looking at contracts. They're looking at the ability to build from those contracts and what can we get out of those guys. You got to remember, man, Pop still is not there. Pop is still going through what Pop is going through. So we're dealing with a younger coach, Mitch Thompson, who's done a great job thus far of bringing each one of these guys along. But you bring an experienced, motivated, coming back home type of guy in De'Aaron Fox, somebody that wants to be a part of what we've seen in this NBA. This was the one spot of the desire that he wanted. He wanted to come to San Antonio,
Wow,
and
that's even better.
That's the best part of it all.
Yeah.
It's a guy that wanted to be somewhere, and they get a win-win in the trade deadline. So to me, I look at this and I'm like, the Spurs won on this trade, and they continue to make major moves.
You said this at the beginning of the season when Khalil and I were saying that they needed to a couple of years to get the acquisitions that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
And you said there was a lot of guys that was going to want to come and play with Wemby.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So now this is the first one. This is the first guy to say, I'm going to play with him.
Yep.
Because we're going to be able to win with him.
You're going to definitely be able to win.
So what's going to happen next year? Who's coming? Who's the guy?
Yeah, who's the big-time free agent that are looking at it?
Free agent, and that's what the Spurs are going to use all of those trade scenarios for. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I look at this, and the Kings win because they get all these draft picks, and you start looking at the picks, and that's why I said before, he wanted out of Sacramento because they're not a serious contender to try to do something. And if I want to be somewhere, I want to be somewhere where I can build to be a serious contender.
They making that play for a flag. Everybody want to amass as many first-round picks as they can so they can say, here's 5 first-round picks.
There's some second-rounders.
We want that first pick overall.
Yep. So the Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, and Kevin Hunter. The Kings get Kevin Hunter and their own pick back from the Spurs. So it's pretty exciting when you sit back and you look at what they've been able to do. I told you Zach LaVine was going to be on the move, just didn't know where he was going to go because he was a name that was talked about. Athletically, he's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I
with
thought
some
he
of
was
the
gonna be a
things.
Spur.
Exactly. And now you got DeMar DeRozan reunited with Zach LaVine. Unbelievable work. Another great take by the world's strongest man. When we come back, we'll close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The voice of the Horns. Craig Way on 1300 The Zone. Weekdays at 2.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
In Round Rock, we still have that accident, 130 toll southbound at 79, causing a 17-minute delay. Stop and go back to Limmer Loop. Also an accident blocking the right lane, 35 southbound Airport Boulevard. That's about a 3-minute delay. 290 westbound Lexington Street, another accident reported there. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
No power? No problem. With a whole home backup generator. Get a 22 kilowatt Generac automatic standby generator for as low as $199 per month. With a 7-year extended warranty installed by licensed Abacus electricians. AbacusPlumbing.com. You can count on us.
Terms and conditions apply. Call for details.
Take the guesswork out of buying and selling your home with Orchard. Will your home sell in time? Which upgrades are worth it? Orchard has the answers for you. It's their move first, sell later program. Buy your new home before selling your old one. Orchard unlocks cash to buy that dream home first. After you're settled in, Orchard sells your old one. Plus, Orchard recommends price-boosting upgrades so you can sell for top dollar. Find out how to buy before you sell at Orchard.com. That is Orchard.com.
Shop simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. You're busy. So, Leaf Johnson Ford has made it simple. Pick yours at LeafJohnsonFord.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leaf Johnson Ford. Leaf Johnson Ford has made buying a new Ford simple.
I am dedicated.
I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients.
I am committed. I am TNT.
After 600,000 participants and almost $1 billion raised for treatments, TNT has helped the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society make a significant impact in the advancement of blood cancer therapies that save lives every day.
I am making a difference. I am TNT.
Join TNT. Expand your circle of friends to be part of a very special community. Train with world-class trainers and have the chance to be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex. Join TNT and fundraise while you train, and take part in getting us all closer to a world without blood cancers.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
Monster BTK, the latest installment of the critically acclaimed Monster franchise, exposes the chilling story of one of America's most infamous cases that shook Wichita, Kansas to its core.
When people said BTK, you think of a wild-eyed Manson-like character. What we didn't understand is he was the guy next door.
Listen to Monster BTK on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Monster BTK to start listening.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 70s Rock Ride.
Dream on,
Pink Floyd, Eagles, Van Halen, Tom Petty, Zeppelin, and more.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Sweet home Alabama.
Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search 70s Rock Ride, and listen now. Free never sounded so good.
Back to Hardge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
What a great way to kick off the week right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We talked a lot about the NBA. So much to get into. All the stories and the conspiracy theories for all this Luka Doncic and AD move. And you look at what the Spurs were able to do. There's so much that's going to continue to happen. The trade deadline is just around the corner. I'm sure there's going to be more. We also got a chance to talk to Rodney Terry as his Texas men's basketball team continues to win big games in situations that they need and they have to have. We're going to continue those conversations. I want to thank Rodney Terry for joining us. Also, I want to talk about this because baseball season is right around the corner. I got an opportunity this weekend to go to the ballpark for the first time. Number one, beautiful, beautiful weather. It couldn't have been a prettier day for the Texas alumni game. And the one thing that I always look at when it comes to baseball, occupied left field is going to be occupied left field no matter who's there. They have a blast. They have a great time, and it's so much fun for them. But the fans and the new fans that were able to come to the game to watch this Texas baseball team, because we don't know half of them, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some good players that were here last year.
Hey man, what's your name?
Hey, yeah, I'm looking at guys hitting balls over the fence, and I'm like, okay, Baseball starts on the 14th. Valentine's Day is the first day of Texas baseball. But right now
gotta love that.
Is the perfect time for you to check out these players, check out these rosters. There's new players that are trying to do some amazing things here. You've got some transfers, but the thing that I love was the support of the alumni. There was so much alumni. I got a chance to talk to the Hodos, the Scott Bryants, David Lowry, just guys that were back. I got a chance to see Donovan Campbell, Dylan Campbell's father, and spend some time with him. Got to see Pete Hansen's dad. And it's the beautiful thing that a lot of schools, you'd be surprised, don't do this. And you think about baseball, it's like basketball, but it's like every sport. You look on your sideline at football and you see all these former players that played there. It's just like that in baseball. In Texas is one of the only schools that has an alumni game where the alumni actually come back and play. All the guys that are playing pro ball, they all come back and they play in this game. It is very, very rare. I've seen so many people post about, man, why don't our school do that? Why don't, they're scrimmaging, they're doing all the other stuff, but they're not bringing the alumni back so the fan base can get their autographs. Because once they leave to go play pro ball, they're not around here anymore.
Right.
You want to do everything you can to have an opportunity to get an autograph or two. And so for me, it was really, really cool. It was, like I said, you could not have picked a better day for Texas baseball to be able to go out there and play. Because I've been to alumni games. It's normally cold. It's windy. You're drizzling. This weekend was picturesque, and I was glad that I got a chance to see so many of those people. And again, it was an opportunity for Coach Schlossnagle to introduce himself to the Texas baseball family.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
While you were out there, did you get the itch? Did you grab a bat? Did you swing one?
Well, it's kind of funny that you say that because I didn't do all of that, but on my drive to the field, I had a baseball in my hand. And I looked at it and it was the Big 12. It was a former Big 12 baseball. And I had it in my hand and I was just
rolling it around.
just
getting that feel.
Just
scratching it.
Yeah, just thinking about what this is like. And I've told people this a million times because everybody always asks me, do you regret
not going to Texas and playing?
Or just playing college athletics or going to school and just having that life?
Do you?
A little. And let me tell you why. Because when I walk around and I talk to all these people, you see how unified the fan base is. The fan base is and how they treated those guys. Right? One of my former players, Nathan Thornhill, he pitched at Texas. I coached him since Nathan was 9 years old, all the way through until he got to the University of Texas. And I still would talk to him and try to help him out, just the mental aspect of it all. And we sat and we talked for a long time. And we just talked about what it is to be a University of Texas baseball player. Now, LSU and all the other schools, I get it. They got their own traditions.
Right.
But Texas is the only school to go to the College World Series as many times as they did. Texas has a tradition at the university that you don't dogpile when you win a regional. You don't dogpile until you get to Omaha and you win the national championship. But the most important part of it is all the friends that you make. I made a lot of friends that played at the University of Texas.
Right.
I played against a lot of them.
University of Texas Nation treats you well
Absolutely.
because of how much love that you've given the University of Texas Nation all these years.
Absolutely.
But it still is not the same as being one of them.
No, you're 1,000% correct. And so that's why walking around, talking to people and being a part of that little world right there, right? That little bit.
Yeah.
It's always going to be there for me. One of my good friends, he signed with Texas too, but he got drafted early. And so he never got a chance to play at the university either. But you can't tell us we won Texas Longhorns. You know, at those
Right,
times, you
right.
couldn't tell us. We were, as soon as we walk into those teams, they know we were from Texas and that we both signed with the University of Texas. So it is something that I know that a lot of fans are going to be excited about. I know that this baseball team is going to be tough and ready to go, nails to the wall. And it's been an exciting time when you think about Texas baseball, what it means, and who all of these people are. So I want to thank Khalil. I want to thank you, Mark. I want to thank the people for always tuning in. I got a chance to meet with a lot of people over the weekend. They love the show. And it has been fun to talk sports with everybody here. Hey, but you know what? It's still getting crazy because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to all the trades, the deadlines, and oh yeah, there's a Super Bowl this week. Don't forget about it. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in, and do me a favor. Don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon,